JBN, we keep you informed. I am Michelle Jones, and in the news, wanted man Babu nabbed in St. James. The Joint Anti-Gang Task Force on Saturday captured a man who was wanted for multiple offences by police in St. James. According to reports, the man, Terence Powell, also known as Babu, was apprehended during a targeted operation in Granville, St. James. Powell previously escaped from police custody after being arrested for illegal possession of a firearm and ammunition. He was arrested and turned over to the Montego Bay Criminal Investigations Branch, where he is expected to face charges of shooting with intent and illegal possession of a firearm and ammunition. District Constable killed in Portland crash. A district constable died as a result of injuries he sustained in a crash on the Orange Bay Main Road in Portland on Sunday night. The deceased has been identified as 25-year-old Romar Steele, otherwise called Shav, assigned to the Portland Police Division. Preliminary reports are that sometime before 9 p.m., Steele lost control of a Honda Civic motor car and collided into a utility pole. Firefighters were called in to remove him from the mangled car. He was taken to hospital, where he was pronounced dead. Woman dies after being hit by a car in St. James. A woman was killed this morning after being hit on the Rosehall Main Road in St. James. The deceased has been identified as Angela Somerville Palmer of a Flower Hill address in the parish. According to the police, the woman was standing along the roadway in the Coral Gardens area around 2:30 a.m. when the driver of a Toyota Mark X motor car heading from the direction of Falmouth lost control of the vehicle and hit Somerville Palmer. She sustained multiple injuries and was rushed to the Cornwall Regional Hospital, where she was pronounced dead. She is the fifth person to be killed in a motor vehicle accident across western Jamaica over the past 48 hours. Burnt remains found in bushes. The burnt human remains of a 77-year-old man were found in bushes along the Content Main Road in the community of Cavalier in St. Andrew. He is believed to be Derek Lindsay, a Kingston resident who went missing on Saturday. The police believe that a relative of the deceased committed the killing and dumped his body in the bushes. The male relative is being sought by the police. Police investigating Hanover crash that killed 3 alleged gunmen. The Hanover police are currently investigating the fatal collision of a car carrying 3 alleged gunmen and a tour bus. The men's identities are unknown at this time, but police are investigating whether they were wanted or involved in any criminal activity. Superintendent Sharon B. Putt, the officer in charge of the Hanover Police Division, stated, "We are trying to find out who the 3 men are and where they are from." One black and chrome Browning single-action firearm with a magazine containing 13 9mm cartridges were found in the car by the police. The other weapon is a black chrome Arista firearm with a magazine containing 14 9mm cartridges. The incident took place on a section of the Northern Coastal Highway in an area called Barbican. Reports from the police are that about 12:30 p.m., the Nissan Latio motor car with the 3 men aboard was traveling from the direction of St. James towards Lucy, when upon reaching a section of Northern Coastal Highway in an area called Mosquito Cove, the men realized that the police were conducting a spot check. The driver of the car hastily spun around, lost control, and reportedly collided with a Toyota Hiace bus with 5 occupants. The men in the car were pronounced dead at hospital, while the driver of the tour bus and 4 passengers are currently receiving treatment. Their conditions are not considered serious. Superintendent B. Putt has commended an off-duty policeman who arrived on the scene and was able to retrieve the weapons. "I commend the off-duty police officer who is on vacation leave and was at the scene. He was able to secure the scene and retrieve the firearms, so the firearms did not get into the hands of unscrupulous persons," she said. Suspect charged with killing of check employee. A man who turned up at hospital with gunshot wounds has been charged in connection with the shooting death of a China Harbor Engineering Company check employee. Aaron Samuels, 47, a construction worker from Baldwin Crescent, Kingston 20, and Locovia Crescent in St. Elizabeth, is charged with murder and illegal possession of a firearm and ammunition. Samuels is charged with the killing of Rowan Hales, 44, from Albion Heights in Yallas, St. Thomas. Hales was shot dead by gunmen while ordering food at a cook shop near his workplace in 10 Miles, Bull Bay in the parish. Samuels was picked up by police after seeking treatment for gunshot wounds at hospital shortly after Hales' killing. He was charged on Thursday after being pointed out during an ID parade. A court date is being arranged for him. Commanding officer for the St. Thomas Police Division, Alison Byfield, said. It was reported that about 1:30 p.m. on April 22, Hales, who doubled as a construction worker and a security guard with the company, went into the corner shop along the roadway. While he was in the process of ordering goods, he was pounced upon by gunmen who opened fire, hitting him. The gunmen fled after they were challenged by a licensed firearm holder. The police were alerted, and Hales was taken to hospital, where he was pronounced dead. Slain pregnant woman had children with alleged gang leader. Police in St. James have confirmed that a pregnant woman who was shot dead in the arms of her teenage lover at her home in Norwood, St. James, on Saturday, is the baby mother of an accused gang leader who is currently behind bars on murder charges. 33-year-old Sue Pennicott, otherwise called Susu, and who was 3 months pregnant, was killed along with 19-year-old Barrington Clark, otherwise called CJ, in the pre-dawn attack at Chico Lane in Endon, Norwood. Both victims were unemployed. Reports are that about 3:50 a.m., Pennicott, who also has 4-year-old twins, was asleep with Clark in her 2-apartment house when men armed with high-powered weapons and handguns kicked off a board gate and gained entry to the yard. The gunmen then broke a window and kicked open a door to the house, after which they opened fire, hitting Pennicott and Clark many times before fleeing. When the police were alerted by residents, they found both deceased cuddling in the blooded room with several 9mm and 5.56 pen shells all over the room. Pennicott's twins were discovered unhurt in an adjoining room. A senior police officer said that the woman may have been targeted because of her relationship with the accused gangster with whom she had the twins and Clark, who hailed from the adjoining community. Prior to the Norwood double murder, 2 other men, including a popular taxi operator, were injured in separate shooting incidents in downtown Montego Bay on Friday night. Investigators say that about 8:30 p.m., the 38-year-old taxi operator, who resides in Cambridge, St. James, and plies the downtown Montego Bay to Cambridge route, was attacked while at a taxi stand at the intersection of Barnett Street and Fish Lane. He was rushed to hospital, where he was admitted in critical condition. 2 hours later, a 27-year-old man of a Norwood address was shot while seated in his Toyota Axle motor car at the Creek Street and St. Cleaver's Avenue stoplight. He was also taken to hospital. Since the start of the year, the parish of St. James has seen a significant increase in murders, with at least 104 people killed. Westmoreland police vow to rid parish of crime. The police in Westmoreland feel some level of achievement at the reduction of crime in general across the parish. However, they refuse to temper their efforts as murders remain a thorn in the side of residents. It's a pity that we are judged by murders, but all other categories of crime are down, Senior Superintendent of Police, SSB Wayne Josephs, said. The reduction, he said, is as a result of the hard work and dedication of the police, despite the resource challenges and all the other challenges that exist within the division. We know that murders are the greatest concern to our citizens and to us as well, as we are continuing to push to ensure that we curtail those criminal activities, said Josephs, who heads the Westmoreland Police Division. According to data from the Jamaica Constabulary Force JCF, for the period January 1, 2022 to May 27, 2022, murders in the parish went up by 64.9% when compared with the similar period for 2021. However, shootings, rapes, robberies and break-ins decreased by an average 20.9%, with break-ins having the highest decline at 44.4%. Deputy Superintendent in charge of operations of the Westmoreland Police Division, Adrian Hamilton, attributes the increase in murders in large part to lottery scamming, which, he said, is aiding the importation of illegal high-powered weapons. One of the patterns that we're seeing, and this can also speak to why we're seeing so many victims of murders when you compare to last year, it's not that we have more incidents, but we have more victims succumbing, Hamilton said. We see where the caliber of firearms that are being used, especially in these murders and shootings. They are rifles that can do great damage. So we are seeing multiple victims because one man with a rifle can inflict great damage to a group of persons. We have a number of incidents where there have been multiple victims, and this is another part of what the lottery scamming situation has brought to the fore, the access to these weapons. These are expensive weapons that criminal actors buy, whether through the guns or drugs trade or the means of importing them to our ports, it has rained terror on Westmoreland, he added. In response, SSP Josephs said the division will be ramping up road policing, which has resulted in the siege of 19 firearms since the start of the year. The response is a coordinated effort between the local police in Westmoreland and the military, and also special operations. We are stepping up our road policing because the guns are traveling along the roadways in motor vehicles, he said. We also do coordinated efforts with the neighboring divisions, St. Elizabeth, Hanover, and St. James, in order to intersect these illegal firearms and ammunition that are moving across the borders to commit these crimes, Josephs said. His colleague Hamilton agreed, adding that the division continues to focus its operations in the 4 key station districts that are contributing to a majority of the crimes in the parish. We have 10 police stations that make up the division. We have them for proximity policing and for resource management. We have grouped those 10 stations based on proximity and resource allocation into 5 zones. Each zone consists of 2 station areas. However, what we're seeing consistently is that 4 station districts mainly contribute over 90% of the serious crimes that we're facing, and that is in Savlamar, Withorn, Grangeville, and Negril, Hamilton stated. He said the division's investigative and intelligence operations will be specifically tailored for those areas in order to combat criminal activities. Other areas such as Darliston, Bethel Town, and Frome, which have seen increase in shootings and murders, will be included in those operations. Josephs noted, though, that since the establishment of a zone of special operations ZOZO in sections of downtown Savlamar early this year, there have been no murders in those areas. I want to highlight that the Darling Street, Dexter Street area that used to be the main hotspot within the parish, ever since the establishment of the zone of special operations in that area in January, and we're now heading into the 6th month, we have not had one single murder in that area, and it was our main hotspot. The only incident we have had in that area is one incident of shooting from the start of the ZOZO, Josephs said. Last year, that zone gave us the majority of the murders that we had in the parish. It was our main hotspot, so it's a positive for the ZOZO within that area, he added. Despite this, Hamilton is insisting that there is more work to be done to rid the parish of crime. When persons are able to rest better, feel safer, then mission accomplished. But we have some ways to go in relation to bringing things to the level of normalcy that we require. There are persons who are wanted for shooting and murders, and we're going after them. We continue to pursue them relentlessly, he said. We are putting their pictures out there. We are putting the information out there, and we want these persons to turn themselves into the police because we have cases for them to answer to. We will not relent. We'll continue to push at these individuals and employ any means legally necessary. We will not stop, Hamilton vowed. 287 new COVID-19 cases in Jamaica, no deaths reported. The Ministry of Health and Wellness reported 287 new COVID-19 cases on Sunday, June 5, bringing the infection total to 139,029. The new cases comprise 173 females and 114 males, with ages ranging from 4 months to 91 years. The cases were recorded in Kingston and St. Andrew, 62, St. Catherine, 43, St. James, 42, St. Anne, 32, St. Thomas, 21, Westmoreland, 17, St. Elizabeth, 14, Manchester, 12, Portland, 11, Trelawney, 10, St. Mary and Clarendon, 9 each, and Hanover, 5. No deaths were recorded for the period. There were 136 recoveries in the last 24 hours, bringing the total to 87,874. Currently, 119 people are hospitalized, 32 of whom are moderately ill, 4 severely ill, and 2 critically ill. Jamaica's positivity rate for the latest round of testing is 29.8%. JBN, we keep you informed. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, leave us a comment, and click the notification bell to receive our daily news items.